First of all, I think your analysis was very straight line. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing funds.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go down that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got
calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Come on, Lou Taylor. You got screwed. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
the
an
Chinese
erratic
Mickey
detective
Rodriguez.
is Mickey Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? Look, girl, how you deal with that? You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Gildarie, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that.
Hi, good evening. Welcome once again to the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show. Wherever you are, good night, good morning. It's usual a pleasure coming to you, and I hope that if you're on the roadways driving and you're listening to us or whatever it is you're doing, we just want to convey our delight in the being with you once again. Tonight, we will do what we always or what we most times do on a Friday night, open the line so you can be able, to talk about any and everything. Freddie Kissoon is going to tell you in a very short while what those topics are going to be. I want to say good night to my co-host, Freddie Kissoon. And of course, before we get into it, there's a couple of things out of the way. One, today I felt a little happy. News coming out of Guyana from the government that one of the oil blocks, or at least a couple of the oil blocks, is going to a Guyanese team. And those Guyanese team are a team of women, and that was a very good thing for me. They actually, anybody knows that when you're filling out the application for those oil blocks, and anything that you do, whether it's tendering or so, there's a whole lot of criteria that you would have to meet. And I guess it would not have been any walk in the park for a couple of Guyanese women who decided that, hey, we want a piece of this action, and they did that, and they got through. And so the government has awarded them a couple of blocks right now, and so they could form whatever collaboration partnership with the explorers, and they could start exploring for oil in those concessions. So that's good news for the time being. The other thing, I will leave the other thing for a little later. In a short while, Freddie Kissoon is going to come back. He refused. I think, but the other thing I wanted to really tell you guys about was the fact that this situation with Venezuela, in which Venezuela is making claims in Guyana and is due to hold a referendum, asking the people to make a decision via the votes and so on later this year, something called referendum on the Guyana border issue. They wanted to use that as a means to say, well, the entire Venezuela has this view. We have on November the 3rd, we're going to hold a special sitting to discuss this matter. And by all means, we should, because that referendum in Venezuela, with Venezuela authorities, if they're so inclined, could use that as an excuse. But let's not pay attention to them and cause any uproar in this country. But we should not be sitting and having tunnel vision and say that whatever happens in Venezuela stays in Venezuela, has no concern in Guyana. It should, any affairs in the world, it's a global village. it has ripple effects, and if Venezuela is making a stated claim on Guyana, or they want to be very aggressive, we have to know what is happening within our borders and pay attention to that. I'm going to stop here and say welcome once again to my co-host, Freddie Kissoon. We want to get these lines open as quickly as possible. Good night, Freddie.
Thank you, Gildarie. We, as you know, every Friday, it's calling from 9:30 to 10. If you look at the advertisement for the program this morning, it says the topics are Gaza, what is happening at Gaza. I've been trained as a historian, and I follow international relations for the past 60-something years. What is happening in Gaza is unbelievable. That a country of 8,000 square miles, that's a speck of Guyana, with 9 million people, could be just bombing a piece of land where civilians live, no army, no air force, and to date, 8,000 civilians, including 4,000 children. And the world, India, China, Russia, the whole of the continent of Africa and South America just cannot do anything because the United States stands in the way. So the topics include Gaza. Then you would see one of the topics is the banking system. Now, why we put that is because, look, I did this column on Wednesday. Republic Bank, Scotia Bank, and St. Aquinas. That's my daily column in the Chronicle. And you would not believe the complaints I got as a response to this column of what the banks are doing. And every complaint I receive was from small business people, people who are now trying to start up a business. So, anyone familiar with the history of the United States and why it became so wealthy, it's small business, middle income business. That's how the United States start. There is no economy, especially in the Caribbean, that could survive if you stultify small businesses. I think Guyana economy is heading for trouble when I listen to the complaints that I got as a response from this article. Republic Bank, Scotia Bank, and St. Aquinas. Some of these stories, everyone, were told by small business people. And they seem to feel that the banks do not want their patronage because with an oil economy, one of the world's a country that has become one of the world's leading oil economy, the big investments are so frequent that the banks are flippantly looking down at a man with a pig farm and his need to open an account at the bank. A guy starting to sell spare parts, and they don't want those kinds of businesses. They feel the banks feel maybe they are well taken care of with these huge investments that are coming in from all over the world. I think that is pathetically unpleasant and will have a deleterious effect on the economy. Forbes Burnham, Chedi Jagan, and subsequent presidents have never frowned on small businesses. And let me tell you, I believe sincerely that is one of the agendas of President Irfaan Ali, to elevate small business people. There's no question in my mind that is one of his priorities. But the banks are going to stultify the direction of President Irfaan Ali. I got some heartbreaking complaints as a response to these columns. One gentleman said he will call tonight. It seems that they are putting impossible conditions on these small business people. So the people would be fed up, cannot meet the criteria, and leave. Now, we had a gentleman in this very studio, one of the prominent names in business administration, Timothy Tucker. And he gave an example where a small businessman was just refused. His patronage was just refused. I'm telling you, I was shocked when I heard of some of these stories, and these people saying they're quite willing to come on this program and tell you about their experience at the banks. The other topics we have is the oil finds. There have been another recent oil find, Lance Fish one, I think. I may got the name wrong. So it looks like we're wallowing in oil. So we have at least another 50 years of assured future for Guyana once we get our configurations and permutations right, and once we satisfy the different classes in Guyana. Apart from those three topics, you're quite free to call in on any other topic. Let's hear what's on your mind. As we said before, if you don't call and tell us what's happening, Guyana and the world will never know what is happening in your country, in your life, in the rest of the world, so we could add that to the writing of history. Back to Gildarie.
Thank you very much there, Freddie. The issue of the bank. Y'all hold the calls for a minute, please. The issue of the bank was something I did some research, and I went and I asked a couple of my clients who happen to be bankers too. I said, what is happening? Could you guys explain? I need to have an understanding. And something happened today with the bank, and I need to share that with you. Let me start there first, so you can have an idea how backward of a society it is. I get a call, our company issued a check, and I think in filling out that check, they forgot to put the date in it. So the bank called to verify, did you issue the check? Yes. So we want to send back, or could you come and put this in, and you know, we can't put it in. The minute that we notice without a date, we have to have you come in and then make an initial date. So I said, but I'm telling you, I'm the account holder, and I'm telling you that.
But you could do that from WhatsApp. They could see.
Right.
They could
so
talk
they said,
to you.
I have to go on online banking and send it to them. So the alternative to that, what the girl said, I am going to honor the check, but the girl would come back with that check. Listen to this madness. Listen to this madness. The girl is going to come back. I'm going to honor the check. The bank is saying that to me. I didn't mishear or whatever it is. I'm going to honor the check, but I'm going to give it to the girl that we issued the check to, and she's going to bring it back to you, and you're going to initial it, and you're going to bring it back to the bank.
That girl has to go way back to...
No, but why couldn't you put it in?
It's that date doesn't affect the integrity of the check.
You're calling Gildarie. No, but you're calling Gildarie, and you're saying Gildarie, does this check belong?
No, man, that can't be right in a modern
You just hear what I just said to you?
That can't be right.
This happened a few hours back. Okay, let me go to the second one. Why, the question on the table, why are the services in the bank so crappy? The reason, according to the bank managers, is very, very simple. You say you train them couple morning, we put out advertisement for them, and you train them couple morning, they left up after 2 morning. 1, they're able with the work, and 2, because there's a demand in other areas for them, they just go into the other area. Nobody wants to be on the feet all the hours of the day. And it's hard work within the bank. You got to be there. You got to make sure you focus. Or if you're out, you got to probably pay back the cash. So let's take our calls. Good evening, caller.
Hi. A very good evening to you, sir. I got some going concern.
Sure.
As a Guyanese. I got just 3 things I would want to highlight on this program if I got time.
Quickly, yes.
However, the first one is that from the time Guyana became independent to today's date, 2 governments take power in this country and fail the people by giving us blackout every single, I don't want to curse. For over 50-something years, this country is getting blackout. And they're trying to fix it for over 50 years. Something wrong. And we sitting down as people and we taking it. That's the first one. The second one is that this country is experiencing so much explosion with finances in fields. And we're getting high places. Everything skyrocketing in this country.
2,000 for a tray egg.
Bomb to the poor people in this country.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You can't
Where is the leaders that looking into the matters of the welfare of the human resources in this country? You could be going on the market and buy and see what the cost of things in the market. A pound of chicken. Already wrong with these people telling people about roads and other things they're telling people about. We could eat roads. People need to wake up.
What is the answer to that?
He said he has a third point.
Okay, go ahead.
Right? Now, why I'm saying this is that even though that you get these bills to market, you get a high light bill when you get the blackout every day. The third one. Now, I could remember when I was much younger, in the 70s and the 80s and coming up. Republic, independence, used to get these huge flags, pencils with the Guyana flags, parties, this, that, sending a message. Those things, even the songs. We ain't giving up the mountain. Where the children, today the children don't even say the national anthem in the schools. Where we heading as a country? Where is our people looking into where we came from as Guyanese growing up? I used to get badges with the Guyana flag mark, Republic, Independence. I don't know if you can remember that. Pencils, badges, jerseys, books, you just name it. The people see how Guyanese people are treating their own people. So they're deciding now to treat us the same way.
If you were to say to the government, sir, based on what you've raised here, that this is how you should fix it, what would you say very quickly?
Here what happened. We need a collective effort, a collective body that could look into the welfare of the people. Quickly, the welfare of the people is very much important. Look what's going on. Because people are crying and because people are this and that. You got eyes to see. You the Guyanese, you got eyes to see. You look, this is how we going to treat we people. You know some pound of milk.
Well, it's all over the world. I could tell you without a fear of contradiction that the inflation has hit all over the world. I think the issue is on the table. How do you...
But here was my point. You fixing roads and you could subsidize.
Well, that is what I want to hear from you. How do you solve the situation?
You could subsidize the food so the people, look, the light bill what people get in. You tell me you take off 500 taxes from 500 items and everything got skyrocketing again? What sense did make it take off the taxes for? And calling back the leaders. Go back to the drawing board and fix it.
Thank you very much.
To fix the situation and the problem in this country. Fix it. Not for me, but for the younger people, the younger children. You know how much children out there need to get in something good for you to go to school?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Chief, thank you very much. Bread and butter issues. I like that. Thank you very much.
The numbers are on the screen. Gildarie's number and the studio number. Calling.
Yes, let's very quickly. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening. I would like to respond a little bit to the previous caller. I think he has some very valid points. He would have spoken a little bit of passion, and that's all right.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Okay, but I would like to see the government invest a little bit more on what you call solar energy, because I'm living in the US,
Uh-huh.
and I have solar panels on my house, and it's saving me a whole lot of money.
Uh-huh.
Right? And I don't know why we have a country like Guyana, which is getting 365 days sunlight, and we shouldn't invest in solar energy.
You're talking solar farms, not individual, because it's two things that you're talking about there. In the cases,
generate current at a cheaper cost.
Right.
It's spreading like wildfire in the US and Canada and stuff like that. Canada has something called a windmill generation, which is something the US is lacking, and I'm surprised Canada is way ahead of us in that windmill thing of generating power through the windmill, which is way cheaper than even cheaper than the solar.
All right. But I got you very clearly. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, man.
Bye. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Kissoon. Good evening, Mr. Gildarie.
Good evening.
I would like to respond to what the immediate caller.
Yes.
Now, I think that caller sounds very much disoriented from reality. Because I am just 39 years old. And based on how we sound like someone that is very elder to me. Are you hearing me clear?
Yeah, you're very clear.
Very clear.
I was born in 1984.
Uh-huh.
I was born in Vietnam. And during the time, well, I can't really give you a vivid recollection from the age when I'm born to about the age of 4. But I came to Agricola at the age of 3. And blackouts were very frequent during those periods. Then I went to live in Buxton in 1990. Blackouts were very frequent. Very few homes in Buxton had a television. When you get a TV, it's a big boy or a big girl. Could you recall that, Mr. Gildarie?
I remember that very clearly. My first TV was a black and white.
Right? Is when courts came to Guyana in 1994 is when a lot of people started getting TV and iPods. Could you recall that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. More so, the caller talk about the constant blackout and all these doom and gloom according to him. I don't know what barometer he would use to measure the Human Development Index. But if we should do a comparative analysis from, well, I can only give you the period where I was very conscious, right? I mean, I would not be familiar with the sophisticated part of management. If you understand what I mean. National management, government structure, or whatever. But I can recollect a few things. In 1990, most of the infrastructure in this country was dilapidated. Most of the bridges on the East Coast were wooden bridges. You understand? The only 4-lane road we had in this country was from the Russian embassy in Kitty to Spandam. Isn't that true, sir?
Yes, go on. And so you're trying to say...
I'm trying to say that the blackout of what he expounded on and the doom and gloom that he would have hypothesized, that is not the reflection on the ground. If you're talking about rising commodity prices, if you look from COVID to now, with the disruption, the global logistic disruption, the manufacturing output, especially China, which has created what we call the word is used, vicissitudes of international trade.
It sparked inflation, that's what I know.
Okay, if you compare inflation in America and inflation in Europe, and in most parts of Africa, it is astronomical. You got to understand or have an idea of economics as to decipher these factors.
All right, so in essence, what you're saying
I'm
is...
saying that Guyana is a work in progress. You can't expect things to be what you expect it to be when our economic reality 20 years ago or 30 years ago was far more minute to what we have now. In 1992, it was a bankrupt economy. It was 360 $1 billion in debt and arrears amounting to $1.5 billion.
So you were saying that people are being a little too impatient.
We are work in progress, and all we can do is just be positive.
And be a little patient too. I think that's what I'm hearing from you.
Exactly.
Before you go, you said you were born in Wakenham?
Yes, Wakenham.
Did my two cousins teach you Shireen?
No, what happened? I was born in Wakenham, and then my grandfather came because my mom only knew her father at the age of 22.
So you went to school? You went to school in Wakenham?
No. I went to nursery school in Gildarie.
Oh, that's why I wanted to know if my cousins taught you.
Okay.
My two cousins would have taught you.
School in Buxton,
okay.
And high school in George.
Okay then. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming through. Pardon? Yes, you enjoyed. Thank you very much for coming through.
And you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye-bye. And I think the debate is going on in the cost of an egg. Today, as I was driving there, I feel like when last time you ate some yard fowl?
Yard fowl?
Hard fowl.
No, I don't know the last time I did that. No.
You don't eat it?
Yes, but we buy
637-1071, 637-1071.
You had yard fowl today?
No, but I feel like eat it. I like my local food, man. Yes. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
2 points we got to raise here.
Sure.
Some people from overseas that call in the program, no disrespect to them. So on the banking system, what Freddie talked early on, they borrow at 4.6% overseas interest rate. We borrow here at 12 to 18% commercial rate. So when a business fund goes to borrow money at any bank in Georgetown, and you don't have security or you don't have the collateral to lean on, for instance, you have cash flow or you don't have cash in the bank and you borrow against that, or you have to put up the house a mortgage. So if you borrow on a secure loan, which most farmers are borrowing unsecure, you will get a hit at 16 or 18.5% at all the banks. So right away, if you multiply the interest times 5 years, they'll be paying close to 100% of what they borrow. And then the sale from farmer to market. The farmer produces power planting at $160. The man who trucks it to town or trucks it to the city put on $40 more, it means $100. And then the vendors buy it and put on another $40. So if you see what I'm coming with here, that is markup is we're buying from third parties. We are buying all our products as third
That's correct. Middleman.
Yeah. So the cost is 3 people making a profit on it, not 1, 3. And then that person who buys from the market and carry it into Maggio or sell it somewhere else, can you imagine what's going on there? So the cost of living here sometimes, and we're now working for 10 and 20% no more. Nobody works for 10 and 20%. Everybody putting on 30 to 50% markup on the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so right away, everything escalates from price gouging, and China create a monopoly on all the products they made because the rest of the world is not producing enough to feed the market. So
thank you very much. Lesson there.
Yeah, we having a tripling effect playing out on us, and with the electricity and more people hitting the points, if you check all of our homes, and from 30 years ago to now, we all put in air conditioner, a microwave, a toaster, a dryer, a washing machine. So the demand on the system, what they're talking about, is 10 times more. And
yes, it's 2 different ball games, and I think what people, people have been missing a big point. America would have had a big start, or the more developed country had starts. If you look in France, England, Spain, and so on, they had starts like years back. Norway would have built their economy on oil. Guyana is now a couple of years we've basically in with the oil. So you're the reality versus expectation.
But there's another aspect to it. Because the United States became the major superpower after 1945, and because its culture and its media dominate the world, we come to use the United States standard. But the United States, I'm telling you, has terrible poverty.
Yep.
David Dabadine, who was the our ambassador to China, he talked about the hundreds of millions that country pulled out of poverty. You know, when we talk about the U.S., our migrants live in New York. You got to go in many other states and see
they call them the inner city.
In Ohio, there's serious poverty.
Inner city, yeah.
United States is not a standard for which to judge.
But caller, thank you very much for coming through.
All right, thank you. One more point before I go.
Yeah.
On the why we are feeling the pressure also, we got to put in consideration these perhaps talking about the year when the dollar was 45 to 1. It's still 200 to 1 now.
Yep.
No, it's 205. 205 or 210.
It depends where you go, if you're buying or you're selling. But I know that the rates
it's
are...
not 200. Not 200.
It's 218 in some places if you're buying.
So we got to weigh that into effect, the exchange rate. And everything we buy from the States, you have to put on 200% mark on it. Because if you buy it for 99 cents from the States, it's 100% before it meets all the consumer.
Before you go, I don't know about Gildarie. I don't have a dryer and I don't have AC. I don't know if Gildarie has. But thanks for calling.
You have a washing machine?
Thanks for calling.
You have a washing machine?
Thanks for calling, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, caller. Hello? Hi, yes, go right ahead.
GPL, the electricity generation, the planning is not with the amount of megawatts used, the population increasing, so the use of power increasing, but the generation is not increasing.
All right, let me address that. I spoke to GPL people, and there's no excuse because I think in long term, but nobody could have expected. They jumped from, I think, from 150 to almost 200 megawatts in demand. You know what's 50 megawatts? 50 megawatts is equivalent to the new plant that we have in Garden of Eden. To fix Guyana, there's a wide-scale plant. Now, to fix Guyana electricity is not just generation, there's transmission and distribution. To fix Guyana electricity, they need $1 billion at least to get it fixed. This is why the gas energy plant, I think, is important, because it's going to bring down the cost and on the long term have a steady supply of fuel there that is ready. But we got to be realistic about it. Guyana's system of transmission distribution is not that very clear. I covered GPL when I was at Kite News as a reporter, so I got a little in-depth knowledge as to what are some of the challenges. It doesn't mean that that GPL is without blame, because they should have catered and planned properly for this thing. Right, it's poor planning and
then they remove Wärtsilä from this situation.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that went wrong, but I agree with you. There's a bundle of stuff that's wrong, but we have got to fix it. But I don't think the blackout between now and December is going to ease, because we expecting some
generation. I had blackout today for 3 hours.
Yeah, me too. I had it till 4 o'clock it came on. But
part of Joshua now is on the blackout.
Yes, I saw a back road when I was coming on Mandela. They don't have the generation because engines are down, and not only that too. If your demand is more, almost every house got an AC in it now, except Freddie Kissoon.
I don't have an AC, and I can't afford it down.
The temperature going on right now all over, it increased use of AC units and fans.
No, the fan, I use my fan because whenever I got to use it because it's dead and dead if anything. I think we pressure can go. But thanks a lot.
But the guy was speaking about solar energy. Solar energy have a big cost in terms of...
Yes, the initial capital cost. Yeah, the initial capital cost. But there's only one side of it. There's two sides if you're talking solar energy. You got to have... It's either you have a farm or you have an individual system. A farm in which distributes a community. Then there's the individual system which is attached to the homes. Those individual systems attached to the homes, there's an initial big capital cost for that because you have to get batteries and solar panels. Well, thank you very much for coming through.
Yeah, well, one more point with this solar. In Germany, the entire thing they're using renewable energies in terms of wind power, solar, have reduced. They stopped using some of the nuclear plants. They're phasing them out.
Yep. You have to look at another direction. That's why I think they're still talking about the Amida Falls. The gas energy, is definitely coming.
Well, I think they gotta get very good people in the energy sector. Not these people they have.
It is, but we got a serious energy problem.
They got a serious problem in the head and the planning of this power. Anyway, thanks very much, Gildarie, and thank you, Freddie.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye. Good evening, caller.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. Go right ahead.
I would just like to raise two questions, right, concerning the 10-day workers.
The what?
10-day workers.
10-day workers?
Those are the part-time workers of the government hiring around the country.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
These people in plus salary whole day doing nothing, brother. And we cannot have people to work. We have to pay them $5,000-$6,000 a day. And the economy.
You can blame the people or you blame the supervisor who monitoring them.
The supervisor who is monitoring them. These people doing nothing, sir. This is a daily thing.
Hold on. So they got some problems with that. The management, you raise that?
Past there, see every man sitting down. Nothing.
I saw a story emerging right now, and I rather suspect there's some of the things. The government would come up with programs and give, whether it's a cash grant, and then they give the various regions to manage it, distribution, and so on. A teacher left the country, or a part-time teacher, whatever it is that she was doing, I went abroad. You know somebody was collecting her salary, right?
Yes, I know that.
You hear the Freddie? Freddie Kissoon. But you want to tell you something? There get plenty people that listen to me, and I know I get plenty Barbies people that listening to me too. You got some scams and some criminals in our RDCs and in the various areas there that needs to be jailed.
Thank you very much.
And who is looking after them? Where is the local government folks who are supposed to be supervising these people? The supervisor not supervising the what is it? The supervisor not supervising the supervisors. They need to do it a little better.
Who's watching the
But hold on. Aside from what seems to be a joke, you see when you take taxpayers' dollars and you waste it and you have people with white-collar crime and you jail, I keep saying it, you jail somebody for 2 blunts or 3 blunts. Of marijuana, but you get these white collar people thieving by the hundreds of thousands or maybe millions, and they sit down there and they laugh, and guess what? They're saying, well, is we government in place? No government. I don't think finale would want to see corruption like that, and I don't think that is what our country wants to see with its taxpaying dollars.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I have to make.
Bye.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening. Am I on to the Freddie Kissoon and Gildarie show?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Okay. I would like to ask something about with the police.
Police?
About the police.
With the police.
There's no policing here. The police. Yes,
no, but
good.
that's his accent.
Sorry
Come on.
I thought he was making a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Go ahead.
sir.
Yeah. If the police stop you, right? They don't have breathalyzer tests, right? But they still want you to drive to the station, assuming that you are drunk, and take you to the station for breathalyzer. How that work out? If you are drunk, you can't drive. How can you drive to the station?
Thank you very much.
Can't drive.
they had some issues with it.
His name is Sugwem, right? Yeah, Mr. Sugwem.
Yeah. And there's a guy by the name of Richard Singh from Orlando, Florida, went to do all the installation, and the guy could have never come because of the nose. And it's ridiculous lie. I spoke to his guy, but just about 2 hours ago, right in Orlando. And it was very sad.
So you're trying to say that.
Huh?
What was it that you're trying to say, that we caused this upon ourselves?
Yes, the government is causing it on themselves. It chase people with investment, which is Guyanese right here. And not giving the Guyanese society a break.
All right. Thanks for coming.
These are the wise from foolish government I'm talking about.
All right. Thanks for your point. The other call is coming through.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
caller.
sir.
Thank you. Oh my, did I just cut off the call? Oh yes. Good evening, caller.
Hello, good night, Mr. Gildarie. I have a serious point here.
Make it.
I cannot hear you.
Are you guys hearing us? I think we switched. We
switched the mic, so you should hear us now.
We just switched it. I'm not sure. Sometimes these things do.
Call us back or send Gildarie.
Are you hearing us? Are you hearing us?
I am on the phone with you. I'm hearing you, but when I go on, there's no sound.
We corrected that. We changed the mic.
Okay,
the operator changed the mic.
Okay.
All right, good. Go ahead.
If you're not hearing us, he wanted to tell us that. Call again and tell us if you're not hearing us, right? Thanks.
Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening, Gildarie. I just want to make a point. I think the last guy who talks about the 10-day worker per month, they're not doing anything. I think this guy, I need to check his information. A lot of these people in some groups are doing their job. But what you find is that I find that there's no blueprint on how to manage these people.
It has to do with management. It has to do with management.
Some of these young people, they don't want to work. Right? They don't want to work. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. And they just want the money.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
It's about $40,000 a month. How much is it?
That's them don't want to do the job. But I want to touch base on that young lady that is living abroad now. And she said that somebody is collecting the money. The procedure to collect the money, Freddie and Gildarie, is that you have to take your ID card with your timesheet for the month you worked. It has to be signed by the person in charge, be the headmaster or the headmistress or whoever, and you have to take it there, and it has to go there and go through a process. They give you a number and then you have to link.
Those systems will only work like the procurement system. The system will only work if the watchmen them are honest, if the guards are honest. If the system...
There's no card, the paymaster.
If the paymaster is not honest, you're gonna have that system. If the paymaster and the colleague, if 5 of them come together and say, let's fraud the system, what are you gonna do? I can only report to you what I've read in the newspapers. The lady went abroad and said somebody was collecting her money. She resigned. She tell them she resigned, and she going abroad. And says that somebody collecting her money.
But suppose she wasn't telling the truth.
Maybe she's not telling the truth. I don't know.
65 village here and there. But what I can say to you, I know somebody close to me that does the 10-day and they do the work. But the
also told me that there's some women, they don't want to work.
But yeah, I fully agree with you. We can't be unfair to put one big brushstroke across all the workers. Some of them genuinely, and I happen to know that the government came out with the best intentions and said, let's provide some kind of employment. I can't give you full-time work, but I give you part-time and the state will pay for it. It comes back to management. The government will put people there to manage this and to make sure that they're being paid. If you take the people that money, you take state money, it's jail for y'all. Thank you very much for coming through.
Yeah, take care, brother. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, buddy. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Go ahead.
Freddie's looking a bit down tonight. I don't know what it is.
It's blue. He's wearing blue.
I'm all right, sir. I'm all right. I'm listening. I believe this.
I'm the controversial fellow from Toronto who usually causes trouble with you. Now, I had a mango and I'm feeling a bit mischievous tonight.
A mango caused you to do that?
Sometimes.
Okay. Freddie would get you going.
Mango come the pump.
Fred, we don't need no when a guy named Ram and Hanuman and those guys to defend this.
No, but you heard what Freddie said. You know.
No, forget it.
Okay.
Go, continue, sir. Continue.
Freddie, I want to remind you, Fred Soupé was my uncle, and I get Takai Singh lecture. All of you guys lecture at the same time. That's my cousins.
Yeah.
I make a phone call to them.
Anyway.
You know, I got a problem here, man. Well, I have lots of problems, but this one here is kind of an open problem. You see, October 1st, the peak season started.
And what season is it?
Peak season. Peak season for marine shipments and air shipments from North America. Now, you see, I get a bit deep into this because I'm the boss, and if I don't defend my customers, something is wrong with me. You see, in the Caribbean, Fred, aren't we aware that Ghana has the fastest growing economy in the world, or one of the fastest growing economy? I'm not being funny here. True or false, Fred?
It's true. We have one of the fastest growing economy because of the oil industry. Yeah, go ahead.
Now the follow-up question would be, shouldn't that boom and that economic boom be transferred to the citizens, the low-income citizens of Ghana?
But that's the debate.
It should transfer to everyone.
Well, now you rich. No. Let me point this out. Dominica, St. Lucia, and a few other islands in the Caribbean have $1 barrel duty on barrels. You know, barrel feed. A barrel loaded with foodstuff ready feeds a poor family or low-income family for a month. And it prevents them from shoplifting and breaking and stuff. Would you agree?
Go on, sir. Go on. Make your point.
No, apparently you want to hear the morale of the story.
Yes, I want to hear the morale too.
Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and a few other islands offer $1 duty, EC dollar, on barrels coming from America, England, and those places. I met Ashley, I was getting worked up with Ashley because Ashley was very defensive. And I don't like when people...
You're talking about the Minister of Finance, Ashley Singh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, all Ashley had to say was, we'll think about it. Because if you're the fastest growing economy in the world, and you can't give low-income people in Agricola and Buxton and all that places, that's our core of our business, you know. Buxton and Agricola is our customer base, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what's wrong if you give them $1 barrel and make everybody happy?
All right. So that's the basis of your point.
Fred, you can work with that because you're a very, very controversial type of individual. You like to get to the bottom of things. Can't you think it could happen, Freddie? Make it happen, and Ashley's probably listening to your show tonight. I told Ashley about this, and Ashley said, oh, you know what? People going to put commercial freight in the barrels and sell it. Well, guess what? That's why you have civil servants like custom officers working there to oversee and monitor.
You really want to go there, my brother? You really want to go there? You want to start me up with customs?
Oh, buddy, I fight numerous battles.
Oh, okay.
Want to fight. Me and you, we're mavericks, boss. We're mavericks.
The boss man for customs is my friend. They got a lot of nonsense.
Gildarie's a maverick? Anyway. Thanks for coming. Yeah. You like...
People are seeing the light.
Yes, before you go, You're still blocking up the traffic in David Street?
No. Yeah, we made a tunnel like the tunnel from Holland to England, and people going underground now. No need to go to with traffic red.
You're still blocking up the traffic anyway. Anyway, thanks for coming through. We got cars coming through.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, guys, think about it for advice.
Okay.
Thank you, Freddie. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
So very quickly, we have quite a bit amount of time. 231-2982-637.
Cut me and say, oh, I was about to say something.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Gildarie and Mr. Freddie.
Yes, good evening. Go ahead.
I think this is a question from Mr. Gildarie. I would like to find out about the pixel cameras that we cannot view. Is there any way we can view it?
Yeah, okay, so we have cameras. These are free cameras that you could look at what the traffic is like, and you could plan yourself to divert away from that area or not. So we have a, an app. You could go to the App Store, whether you have the iPhone or the Android, and you search the Pixels Guyana Inc. You can download it. But if not, we have a website, Pixels Guyana Inc., and you could be able to view it there. But it's better for you to get the app and you have it on your phone. We have on that, and I'm heading to the East Coast to put a couple more up there, maybe within a week, maybe one by Mondripo and one by Sparnam. But our company has a responsibility, corporate responsibility, and we're not making any money in these cameras. In fact, it costs me a lot of money. But we have decided, as a spin-off from what we give back to the people of Guyana, we've decided to eventually might have to ask maybe Exxon or somebody to adopt the cameras, and thus as a means of keeping it alive. But it's a lot of work, because every time it's done, the one across the Harbour Bridge is done because there was a cut to the one of the electricity cables. So we were talking to them, and it takes a lot of manpower. Tomorrow morning, guys got to go out there to get it fixed. So it takes a lot of things out of us. But answer your question, we have the apps, and you can get those apps to view those cameras.
Yeah, okay. But here is it. So I see along the way from the Harbour Bridge of the West Bank to Virgin Hope, there are a few more cameras. Does Pixel control those cameras or so?
No. We have those cameras in strategic area. The government has, under the Safe City, Safe Country initiative, they have security cameras, which is there to, if they want to pull back. I don't want to talk too much about it. I think the government knows what it is. But have you ever wondered why they are able to solve so many crimes so very quickly, especially when it comes to robberies? Right. The system is marvelous. It's really is one of the most modern in the entire country.
But I want to ask you something. If those systems can do that, are they capturing the police, traffic police harassing people? So you could take those tapes. So you could take those tapes to the bigger boys. The tapes must capture police.
The police are decent. The majority of police are decent, but they got a few scams among them, and they would hide before the cameras.
They would hide.
They'll go where the cameras are not.
Mr. Freddie, that's something to your statement is. The police, actually, I'm a biker, right? And I was caught on Regent Street. Actually, I forgot my helmet because I was so in a rush to get to my mother. And the police ended up and stopped me. And when they stopped me, I ended up and had a talk with them, because remember now, it's not my first conversation with you.
No, police don't stop people for helmet. Not where I live. I live on the railway embankment, right direct opposite Massey Supermarket. And from the time dusk falls, from the time it's people in Marseille, out of Marseille, 20 to 30 bikers, and nobody helmet. I can't believe the police stopping people without helmet. Not from where I live. They just ride.
I know. But that day I was in a hurry, and here this about the cameras now. What the guy did after I spoke to him, now remember now, I was in a hurry. I don't want no confrontation with the police or so. So I had a word with him, and I asked him, hey, you got to some fair by. And he said, God watch you come behind the prison there, but don't go there. Go on this point, you can. My father find that funny, you know.
You give me a play.
So, yeah, how to do it. And now, what they do now is what they do. They know where these cameras are placed. And they would usually avoid them when taking
nobody. I go on the seawall every afternoon, and there cameras all day. When I heard somebody took a trailer, somebody took a canter and stole a whole vendor's yeah, everybody come. And then somebody went and burned down another. So anyway, so thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming. Good, bye-bye. 2312982, and we could also 637-1071. Good evening, caller. Hello. Hello.
Lower your volume. Lower your volume.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Take off at whatever you're listening to. No, you gotta take it off. Don't play feedback.
Okay.
You can always see back the program when it's finished. Just go to YouTube and you'll hear yourself. No problem.
You already?
Yes. Go ahead.
Good evening, first.
Good evening.
I was listening to your calling program with your persons that calling in. And some people, I don't know what to say with them. I could tell you some things. The guy was talking about blackout and cost of living life. My son born 1984. And before 1984 was terrible blackout in this country. Some days you can take blackout for 3-4 days. Sometimes 5 days you get black. Just come on for 2 hours. And it's up. Secondly, that's the first thing. Cost of living is always high in this country. It never go. It's always high. Number one, you got to remember that Guyana is not running on let's say, price control no more. They've done years. If we doing a free market now, the government is not control to people to sell what they want or facility.
No, stop there. Stop there. You had one exception that I didn't agree with. When the river taxi increased the price by $100, they were stopped. I didn't agree with that. I mean, they live like all of us. And I think minibus prices are monitored. I think minibuses.
Sorry to cut you, Mr.
No, go on. But go on. I want to tell you about the river taxi and the increase by $100.
The river taxi, they have for me. I may be wrong, they have a right to stop them. Because they fuel everything cut. They didn't pay fuel, they cut. So they have to put all the pressure on people that are traveling. You understand me?
No, I take your point. You were saying that there's no price control. I was just saying that with a taxi, people were told that they cannot increase their price by $100. But go on, make your point. Go on, make your point.
Okay. Well, okay. So now we is working for the open market. If the government cut tax or whatsoever, right? So these things are coming in, right? When they go from the free market, people sell no one. They ain't got nobody who tell them to sell the goods.
No, but you started off. I'm getting a little confused here. You started off by the electricity, and did I hear you correctly that people were complaining about electricity and there was blackouts happening in the 80s? How is that relevant to the people complaining about blackouts at this point in time? This is what I want to know.
Okay, okay. But it's relevant. It's just telling you that people that happen, against this blackout is happening now.
No, but you got people who wasn't around in 1984 and they expect this government to deliver, or any government that's in place to have a proper system. I don't think that for a long time you would not, and I can't remember for a long time in which this weather was so hot like this year. So, I mean, I have expectations, and I expect as our country move from one stage to the next stage that certain things are not expected to be. I'm not saying it shouldn't be blackouts, but we find it very difficult that you were going to come to us and tell us halfway through the year. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about what the people are feeling out there. Halfway through the year that we have run out of electricity, we can't generate enough electricity because the demand has gone.
When you finish, Gildarie, there's another point.
Yeah.
People need people need to make these complaints because sometimes the government don't know. Governments are very, very busy people. Ministers are very, very busy people. They may not know, the president may not know 12 eggs jump from 500 to 2,000, as Gildarie said. He may not know that. So the people's complaint serve a very useful purpose. Now, the president and his ministers may not know that a particular village is getting blackout all the time. So people's complaints, when they come to the attention of the society, it can only have a positive effect. So you can't stop people from complaining. If they're feeling it, it helps in that the government I've seen many things that police do wrong on the road. Many other things state employees do that I don't think the president knows about. So if someone comes on this program and say A, B, C, D, it helps.
Hold on, folks. I'm getting complaints from the viewers that the audio is bad.
That is true. That is true. I'm hearing it.
You're hearing some problems?
Yes. They're going to...
That's because you're listening to us also while on the other stuff there, and then you're talking to us here. So you have
there's something playing. Your television is on.
My television is on?
Something you're listening to, but we also have some technical issues here.
Maybe some other member of the family had the television on. Anyway, the operators hear that.
All right, Chief. Oh no. Well, all right. We probably got to end and think. Any other quick points that you want to make with us before we?
No. You said you have to go and call me because it's a lot of things. Why is it calling, man?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thanks for that generosity. Thanks.
Okay.
Our apologies, I can't control some of these technical guys are working hard to have it rectified, trying to solve the issue at the moment. Our apologies on that. If you guys are hearing us very clear, just text us and let us know. Good evening, caller.
Hey.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Are you hearing us clearly over there, sir?
Yes, loud and clear.
So I don't understand, so something is happening here. All right, go ahead.
Yes, just want to say congratulations to you guys. Been looking at your program for a while, and it's very interesting. I've been living overseas for the past 23 years now, and known Mr. Freddie for a long time. I'm 50 years old, and known him for my entire life. And congratulations, guys. You guys doing a great job. I really enjoy your program, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much for coming through this.
We got some interesting guests in the next 2 weeks. Next week and the other week.
All right.
I always look forward. Freddie, I always look forward for your guesses, and it is very interesting. I always look at your guys' show, but for my kind of work, I never get onto the program. I always look at after the fact. But tonight I just put it on, and you guys was on.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, good night. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie, there was a call earlier talking about the police being bribed.
Yeah. Oh, the one that's paying the bribe, or the one that's
the guy with the helmet.
Oh,
I just have a little input here. This is my opinion of this whole situation. Now, the traffic chief was on television or Facebook on the media, saying plainly, no private vehicle are to be equipped with police lights or police sirens. However, the situation with them is that these same policemen that are on the road, they know all these vehicles that have these lights and these sirens. And guess what? 99.9% of those vehicles are friends of the government. They are friends of the PPP people in high office. So the police
On Monday evening,
That's the reason why the police force can't get good, because you know why? This is a very corrupt government.
yep. On Monday evening, I was driving along the Eccles Road, the new road there by the fountain, and the police were stopping vehicles there. And this vehicle that was in front of me was about to make a U-turn when he saw that. This is what I concluded. When he saw the police, and then he decided to heck with it. He's gonna go forward.
Yeah.
The cops in front watched him, watched the car, what it was doing there, and just sent him on his way. So I pulled alongside and I said, "Good evening." And I asked the young officer, I said, "You see that car, what that car did there just now?" He says, "Yes." I said, "Why did you pull it in the corner?" He says, "Alright, boss man, go down your way."
Yes. Because you know why, Gildarie?
Me don't know why.
Exactly why I just tell you here.
Right.
It's exactly that. Let me tell you something. I don't want to take too much of your time. Now, I'm a supporter of this government. And but I can tell you what, it's disgusting how they go about on a daily basis in insulting the intelligence of people.
Who's that, the government or the people in authority? Is it the government that you're talking about or the people in authority?
I tell you why they're insulting people, because you're coming out and putting your traffic chief a delegation. You want police cooperation, you want a police and citizen initiative, you want a joint venture, you want cooperation for the citizen, and yet you are fully well aware that your friends and your family are breaking the law, and you tell your instructors.
You know that vehicle that has those lights? You know who it belongs to?
So you cannot expect the police to carry out their duty.
No. I'm asking if you happen to know, because if you give it to us and I give it to the traffic chief, in fact, he's...
Let me tell you something. That picture story. And next thing, you know, people that be posting videos and that on Guyana Daily News and the State Steady, showing your vehicle driving through. If the police want people to send videos to the WhatsApp website, you know what they must also do? On that site, they must post that. We receive a video clip of this vehicle breaking the law, driving through the pedestrian bridge behind the gardens. Okay, here is it. Next day, the driver was charged a place for the code.
Name and shame. Thank you very much.
Right? Because you can't ask you asking citizens for cooperation, you send this thing. When the citizens send it, you know how much time I send pictures out with them container trailer park in Melbourne? I even call it your program for 3 times.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
God forbid one night somebody might run into it and life or lives may be lost. Then you're going to see one engine running, coming with a big excitement to saying, hey, we got to move this thing, we got to clean up. That's how the government work, and I could bet you.
A knee-jerk situation.
You're a journalist, do your investigation. You want me to take a bet? That I'm very certain those trailers belong to some friend of the government. You do the research, and you could announce it. Be fair and announce it. Investigate who owned those trailers out there, and you make an announcement when you should, and you will see what I'm telling you.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Corrupt, man. You know?
Who's the guys that own the trailer that illegally parking on the road? You want to tell us?
I don't know. If you know, there's some trailers that don't be one night they stop, right?
Somebody took some pictures of it, right?
Black off the whole road. You know, the man said they must go wrong back and come through by Borgia.
Good evening. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Good evening, sir. There's a problem with your volume or something there. The speaker, I can't hear you on the TV.
I just try. We've been the boys I was saying, some parts the guy that does call, he's here and that's fine over there. But it could be that something is happening. We're trying to ascertain it. But our operators are indicating everything they've checked from our ends, it seems alright. But it could be the internet issue. We're not sure. But we'll continue to try to fix it. We're trying to troubleshoot right now.
Alright, Mr. Gildarie, you have a good night. You and Freddie Kissoon, and you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Freddie Kissoon and Mr. Gildarie.
Sure.
I just would like to ask a question. Is there a quota on the amount of times an overseas Guyanese can visit Guyana?
Is there a what?
Let me explain. I went home in April for a vacation.
you came home here in April.
Yeah, for a vacation. I usually go home every year.
Yeah.
So my mommy died and I'm sorting out the will and so I have to go home.
Condolences.
So I went in April. So September was my birthday, and the night of my birthday, my daughter bought a ticket the Saturday night. I went in the Sunday for a week, and the immigration officer was asking me, why am I visiting Guyana twice?
He can't ask you that.
He did.
And what you told him?
I told him, well, I'm here on a vacation.
No, you told him it's none of his business.
I said to him, if I can come home every week, I will. And then, he made it into a joke.
Oh, it had to be a joke.
Yeah, it had to be a joke. He was probably inappropriate to do. I don't think it could be any other.
No, madam, stop there. He just wanted to have a... If you have a visa, if you have a 10-year...
No, it's a Guyanese woman coming home.
If you have a visa for any country, you can travel to that country anytime you want. You have a visa. If you're Guyanese and you're coming home, you could come home every week, every day. No, he just want... No.
Because I have a Barbadian passport that he asked me.
No. Barbadian passport. No. CARICOM has 6 months automatic entry. He just wanted to have a conversation with you. Maybe don't take that serious, madam. You shouldn't even call about that. Anybody you tell that to, if you...
He wanted to gap it up.
He wanted to...
He actually is making me not want to go home.
Madam, ignore that gentleman. That is, no immigration officer will ask you a Barbadian passport holder why they're coming so often to Guyana. Just ignore that. Have a pleasant night. Forget about that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
For the longest while I'm hearing you guys looking.
Well, we keep saying it over and over.
Look like we have a problem.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
I hope we don't have it Monday. We have an important guest Monday.
Yeah, I want to hear what you guys are discussing, and I don't know.
It could be this thing. It could, look, this is our mic. Look, I'm showing you it. They changed one half an hour ago, and it has to be this. This may be the problem. I don't know. This.
All right, we're trying to track it down. Thank you very much.
I wonder if they are British speaking and it's not saying.
No, they're doing the job. They're working very hard. But what happened, to have the system run, and for those who don't know, dependent on internet and equipment, and if the internet goes bad, it doesn't matter how good the equipment is, you can't do anything wrong.
You guys have me setting up to listen to this program, and I don't know either.
Okay, good night, Elizabeth. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
So people aren't hearing it?
She says she's not. No, there was some issues that they were getting. There's nothing wrong with that. People want to listen. 231-2982, 231-2982, or let's get 637-1070.
I want to say something, but once the phone rings, it's okay. When I was driving to come to the studio tonight, I had the CD in my stereo, Sammy Bash. I haven't played it for almost 2 years. And that guy can really sing. He must be one of the best singers the Caribbean produce. If there's anyone out there listening and knows Sammy Bash, could you please ask him to get in contact with us?
Somebody told me he was in New York or somewhere.
My number is 614. If there's a caller, let's take the call. 614-5927.
You want to come piece of the song that made him very famous?
If you want to play a piece of the song? To Be Lonely.
Yeah.
Do you want to play that now?
No, you want to sing a little for us?
I can't sing. Let me see. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3. To be lonely, it's a crime. Oh, that. You see, laughing at me.
You just only two lines to sing to the people. Let people know who you are.
I was listening to Sammy Bash on my car stereo, and that gentleman can really sing. It's a pity he did not make it big on the international scene, and maybe because he came from a small country. Maybe if he was from Australia, the white world would have...
It was a very unusual song that they sang there.
He sang very young. So,
that particular
my email is fredkissoon@yahoo.com. Anybody can spell Fred Kissoon. Sammy, please get in touch with us. Please.
Yeah.
Fantastic singer.
Yeah, he's an interesting character that we should have here. So 231-2982 or 637-1071. Let us get those calls coming in.
Maybe people.
It is unbelievable what I'm hearing here tonight, Freddie Kissoon. The policeman says, I got to administer test to you. Could you follow me to the station? Or you drive in front of me to go to the station. You're a madman as a policeman? That can't be happening. Are you for real? You believe that?
So somebody told you Sammy Bash is residing in New York.
I think I wanted to interview him. I'd met him at Kaicho News. He had come there. There's a story to be told with Sammy Bash, but that song made him very famous. All the folks.
So you want to try it?
Huh?
I said to be lonely.
It's a crime. I don't know.
Gildarie, you're worse than me. Now.
Yes.
You can't sing at all. You're worse than me.
Calm yourself down, though. I mean, you listen to the 60s and the 70s. 637-1071 or 231-2982. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic night. And Freddie Kissoon, we got to get those young ladies, those couple ladies that
who won the All Block.
I'm interested in talking to them. I understand that they are very energetic, they're very vibrant Guyanese, and they have formed this company here. As to how far they're going to get, I would love to watch the story and follow them.
In case anybody's on it, there's something I wanted to say. This is about the second call-in program in which I find people from the diaspora is not touching the Gaza issue at all. I think I know why. People are afraid, the people believe when it comes to certain issues in the United States. Anyway.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I'd just like to make a complaint here. In the village of Chesney here on the Corky, there is a particular street on the seaside that is north of the public road. I think there's around about the second street. There seems to be a problem with the Gaiwa pipe, and it's broken for the longest while, over a month or so. And the thing is flowing down the street, and all the drains that you could imagine right now, they are actually dry all over the country. But this drain, a section of it has the water, the Gaiwa water is flowing into it, and so it's the water it's clear. You could actually go dip the water. I understand, and now the pipe is kind of undermining the foundation of the street. And there's a street that was recently done, this concrete street.
Did you report, or was the matter reported to GWI?
Yes, it was. And the funny thing, here's the irony of it. The Gaiwa office is on the opposite side of the road.
All right, 624. There's a lady named Ms. Jeffries, I think her name is. She sometimes would answer on behalf of GWI, sometimes she answers on behalf of herself. 624-2499. You could call her 624-2499.
She's based in Messenger Road?
Yes. I think she is the communications manager or somebody there. She may want to know about this matter. Tell her that you raised this matter here with Freddie Kissoon and Gildarie, and that GWI office is sleeping. The GWI office in Chesney, that is, they're sleeping and they're not working for the money. Yeah. They need to wake up and smell the coffee.
Yes, I forwarded you some pictures of it in your phone. If you have the time, you must look at it.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But call her and tell her that GWI Chesney is sleeping and that those workers there probably need a prod in where?
Gildarie, could you answer the phone, please?
Yeah, there's no phone call right now. The people are sleeping. 231. I think the technical issues that we would have had.
Yeah, I think people aren't calling in because they feel their grievance will not be aired.
231-2982.
We have this problem here.
637-1071. We have just about, let me see, about 9 minutes according to this phone.
9 minutes, yeah.
Look, at this point in time,
you go ahead. I wanted to say something, but the Gaza tragedy, why people are not calling in.
They're frightened. They're frightened because they believe they monitored.
Yeah. So, you see what Edward Snowden did, what Edward Snowden revealed, is that as a policy, the United States intelligence agencies were harnessing billions of emails and cell phone calls. That was the revelation of Snowden. Now, since the invasion, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, whatever explanation Russia has, its security concerns, Ukraine was doing things that, evoked paranoia. Anyway, this is a call.
Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hi. Could you lower your volume right away, please, whatever you're listening to?
Yeah, I just would like to stress something here that Freddie is saying, pertaining to GAZA. Do you know in the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, the Holy Bible say that any nation would be the United States, any nation upon the earth, touch Israel, God will take the nation off yours. Do you know the Holy Scripture says that, the Holy Bible? That's what you want, but the Scripture also says that I will bless those that bless thee and curse those that curse you. So any nation that bless Israel, according to the Scriptures, will be blessed. And any nation that curses Israel will be cursed. That's written in the Scriptures.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Right. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, the point I was making is that people are afraid because they think their phone will be monitored, and and that's why I think no one, if we have a program on Ukraine, Russian, people aren't going to come in call from the diaspora, and they're not going to call about what the Israelis are doing in Gaza. Almost 8,000, they are just a piece of strip around 138 square miles, packed with people. They are just bombing the people, just bombing these buildings, and they have not, since October the 7th, come up with a number of how many terrorists that they have bombed and killed. It's just civilians dying by the thousands. Now I believe diaspora people are afraid to call in because they feel their calls will be monitored.
So,
and then they are.
Freddie, I think people become so immune. There's so many things happening around the world. There's drought.
Move my water.
Sorry, just bring this yours. There's so many things happening. There's drought happening across the world. I saw a news, I think in Maine, USA. A gunman went and I think 18
No, but
persons died.
that you can't compare with what's
No, but what I'm just saying, people become immune and they're saying that something that's happening elsewhere. People doesn't want to get themselves involved.
No, I think people
you think
are
more
afraid.
afraid. You think that maybe there's a
I think they're afraid that people would see them either as being pro-Muslim or being being pro-Russian.
Good evening, caller.
Good night.
Good night.
This one is for Freddie. I don't know if you remember this one.
This is the guy who's calling and sing all the time?
No.
What's that?
I'm playing a song for you. Hold on.
It's not.
Hold on. I got to take off the music right off. Right away.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right away. You gotta take it off. I gotta take it off. My apologies. If we play music here that ain't supposed to be here, copyrights, under the copyright laws, Facebook would take this entire video down, this entire show that we have here. They'll just erase it.
Good evening, caller.
Sorry about that,
Good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good, sir. Go ahead.
We're getting a little coolish weather the last couple of days.
Yes, it's
yeah, I was hearing some singing just now, and it took me back to my first form in school in 1969. There was a song, I know, my friend they're going to remember it, called In the Year 2525.
I know it by, I even know the singers, Zyger and Evans.
Yeah. If man is still alive and if almost that survived. And it went until 95 in the song.
Yeah.
By the time
You pick your sons and daughters from the bottom of a long test tube.
Yeah.
I know this.
Well, you know, we did 2025, and it looked like we could extinct, right, from global overheating. So, these fellas like they do something in 1969. I don't know how many people remember this song, but I remember it from the school days. In the year 25.
But do you know George Orwell's book 1984? He wrote that book long before 1984. And look how it come to pass. The Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, they monitor their citizens, monitor what they're saying, etc. So.
You remember Soylent Green?
Yeah, with Charlton Heston, yeah. Right. Soylent Green.
But they had another one, the even worse one than that, called The Ultimate Warrior, with Yul Brynner.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I saw that.
But that one was, the end of civilization.
Okay.
I don't know how many youngsters nobody.
No.
I saw Ultimate Warrior. That's probably one of his last movies.
Right.
Yeah, the young people would know about that. Like Gildarie did know one of the most famous love songs, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, by Simon and Garfunkel. He said he made a mistake, he knew about it, so we forgive him. Thanks for coming through.
In my time, the best series of songs that came out in a short period of time were by the Carpenters.
Oh yeah, my wife loved Karen Carpenter.
Yeah, Karen Carpenter. Like before, maybe 2 or 3 years, they had just a rush. I used to listen to all their songs.
Okay, thanks for coming through.
Especially about Mondays. You know, when they do the song with the Mondays.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much for coming through, the boss. Bye-bye. Our apologies. We're not allowed on this show here to play music because of copyright laws and things like that.
No, but wait a minute. If you're not showing it.
No, but still. Good evening, Colin, very quickly. We're almost out of time.
Hi, good night, everyone.
Good night.
So, with the GAZA issue, this issue, I just want to guide you to hear this, right? Who doesn't know? It went back all the way back to Abraham when he had 2 sons, one with his outside wife Hagar and one with his wife Sarah. So the outside wife Hagar, those are where the Arab people come from, and the son with the wife Sarah is where the Israelites come from, the Jewish people. And the Jewish people were run out of their land because of God had told them what they did to Jesus, right? So that was before that. This was after Jesus came. They had to leave the land because the Romans had conquered the land, right?
All right, so there's one view. Hold on.
What is she saying?
Very quickly.
What's the main point? Sum up your point.
So the main point is that this land belonged to the Israelites, the Jewish people. That's a promise from God. But the sea people who are the Arabs who came later through the Romans and conquer, and they kill the Jewish and run out the Jewish, but there were still some Jews living among the Palestinian Arabs, which are the Palestine, modern day Palestine, and a few. But then in 1947, 48, they went back there with the Balfour
Okay, right.
All right, well, thank you very much. Different views, different things. Thank you very much. A little history there. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I know that there's going to be a lot of people who for and against, and there are different parts of history, and I saw some interesting...
Well, Israel have occupied the people's land,
in some modern days,
the UN, it's international agreement that land belongs to the Palestinians.
Some modern day views will
Israel
be a different thing, but everybody is very passionate about it. But I think one thing we could agree, all over the world, that nobody would tolerate the killing of innocents and the wanton killing of civilians. That's something we have to stand up and fight against. Freddie, over to you. I think we have to end now.
No, I don't want to keep we have problems with the audio, and I wish for my article in the Chronicle last Wednesday, I got terrible complaints as response to this article about the banks. I'm calling on the government to do something about the banks. They just put in onerous conditions on people that are just not within the law and within the anti-money laundering laws. We're going to have some interesting guests next week, and those guests will add to history and help to crystallize for us some of the sociological issues in Guyana. Thanks for being with us. I hand over to Gildarie. On my part, these Friday nights calls are always important because you meet all kinds of people with these calls. For me, as I normally say, catch you later, man.
And thank you very much to Freddie Kissoon. Thank you very much, folks, for joining us. We'll be back with you next week. It's always a pleasure. I think the calls are coming in. We could conclude one thing. Or people are interested in the development of Guyana and they want to make their input into that, the sitting at the table kind of forum. So wherever you are, I hope that you enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. We'll be back with you on Monday.